All right, so here are a few exercises that you can do to help with shoulder pain or rotator cuff injury, even bursitis, or frozen shoulder too, to a certain extent. So this is a series about like 4 exercises that you can do varying on your level. So we start with, actually I'm going to go in a little wider stance. So this is a horse stance again, so feet are a little bit wider than your hips and your shoulders. The toes are going to be pointed outwards. Again, making sure your knee doesn't go past your toes. So you're going to stay horse stance here. Slight bend in the knees. You think about pushing outwards when you do this. So from here, you're going to bring your arms up. Have your elbows pinched. So you're going to feel a little bit of contraction in between your shoulder blades, right? And as you breathe out, you're going to extend outwards. Now I kind of do with the finger pointing up just like this, so you're helping with all the tendons in your wrists as well. Breathing in, pinching. You can kind of do this too with all the hands just kind of lightly contracting. And when you do this, you can kind of feel like a squeeze of all the energy going down towards your wrist. But this is also training how to use your back muscles too to help with your shoulder. Do this about 6 to 8 times. Still want to keep relaxed when you do this. So I know it almost like seems like I'm having tension, but I'm really just squeezing and just feeling the energy go outwards. My elbows down. One more. And from here, you can also do this is a covering palm exercise. Looks kind of similar to the kidney, but I'm again kind of in a wider stance than I would be in the kidney exercise. So rotating towards my left, drilling here, and I'm going a little bit more behind me, so I'm using more the range of motion of my shoulder. Rotating, sinking downwards, so you can kind of feel my back open up when I do this. And I can also go this way too. So rotating back. So a couple ways to do the whole range of motion of the shoulder. So bring your, almost see your elbowing down here. And again, I'm kind of shifting the weight, so I'm protecting my knees, depending on where I'm going. So when I'm drilling to the left, my weight goes to the left, and rotate back to my right. Side, so to the right. So again, breathing in, really pushing for my left foot when I'm drilling, rotating in the back, right? So I'm not, it's almost like my shoulders are just following. Come back this way, elbowing down. So working all parts of the shoulder. The next one is, again, very similar to the lung, but really you want to focus on your thumb rotation. So when you do this, you're activating the rotator cuff muscles in a very distinct way, right? So when you have that focus on there and really trying to do the contraction between your shoulder blades. And when I say contraction, you know, I don't want you to create tension, but just feeling that movement, feeling the whole shoulder open up and close. And then as you get better with this and you're doing more repetitions of these exercises, you'll start to feel kind of your hip move in and out too. So it's like there's this connection of the shoulders and hips to be aware of. And I really recommend this for people that, you know, if you injured your shoulder, like dislocations, like I have a lot, and it's super sore, you really don't want to, unless like, you know, you did fracture your shoulder or something, that's kind of the exception. You want to keep the shoulder moving, because if you don't, then you can create frozen shoulder, which is really hard to rehab from. Like, it's definitely possible, but super painful. So even if you feel really sore and just doing this, because I did this after I dislocated my shoulder, just to get the muscles working. So it didn't, you know, I couldn't be like this the whole time. So getting the blood flow moving again, even though it was super sore, is very important, just to prevent frozen shoulder syndrome. But again, I wouldn't do this if, let's say, you fracture your shoulder. You kind of do have to be immobilized. But doing this afterwards really help. Now the last exercise is a little bit more advanced. So if you're kind of like recovering from a rotator cuff injury and you get to a point where like, oh, it's moving pretty well, this is like a strengthening exercise. So it's called Tiger Pounces on Prey. So I do kind of my fist here. You can do your hands, whatever. If your wrist kind of hurt, then you can do the fist level. So it's like a push-up position, but you're gonna come downwards, up, out. So again, this is more for building strength in your rotator cuff. As you get pretty good, you can do 6 to 8 and do more after that. And once you get really good, you can do it on your fingers, but that's like super advanced too. So you just start with your fists or your hands and going in that kind of U motion when you do that. So hope that's helpful for your shoulder injuries. And I recommend doing this every day if you can.